Thank you. Oh, okay. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good idea. So,
And I apologise for the background noise. We're having our deck replaced.
Maybe a couple more minutes, I think, 1 or 2. Yep.
I was just going to make the comment, is it possible, and do you think it's a good idea for people to put in their name where they're from? So not everyone knows.
Sure. It's a good prompt. And I think if I'm right, is that just clicking on the 3 dots that should come up in the corner that everybody, if anyone's unsure, just click on rename.
Rename, yeah.
As well. Good idea.
So where's Sheridan from?
Regis.
Oh, Regis, consider Dr.
We're madly updating.
Yeah, I just replaced Kirby Smith, so she's on maternity leave, so I'm very new to the role. So.
Oh, great. Welcome.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Oh, that's a good background for Wendy. Can't hear you. You're on mute.
I was just saying, does that make it more obvious?
That's great.
Fantastic.
Filling in a little bit of time. For those that haven't noticed, we've rebranded in December.
Oh.
We've just dropped senior care. So we're just now home instead. So 2 main reasons. To be more age-friendly. Some people don't like being identified as a person, and also just to be more inclusive. I've got an echo here.
Yeah.
We can hear you, but we can hear the echo.
Oh, okay. I might dial in again. I don't know what's happening. That might solve it. But anyway, so yeah, and because we have some younger clients as well, so it's just home instead. No change of ownership or management or anything else. It's just home instead still. So.
Yeah, and you're doing the NDIS now, so
yes, a little bit. Yeah. So
we're supporting one of my people. So
and where are you from, Sophie?
No, I'm Penelope. Hello.
Penelope.
Yeah, Dementia Australia.
Okay, lovely. Oh, that's good. Yes, we do have a few. So the echo seems to have gone. Maybe I'll stay.
Yeah, it does, I think. Yeah. All right, well, maybe I will launch in then. Sorry, happy if I, do an opener. So welcome everyone. Thanks for coming along today for the Dementia Knowledge Network. First, I would like to just do an acknowledgement of country. So I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting takes place. And also I would like to pay my respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging. Today we have Jorja Kelly, who has come along to be our guest speaker. Jorja is from Dementia Australia and her role is Diversity and Inclusion Officer. So we just thought this was a topic that has come up a couple of times around diversity and dementia and what that might mean. I know it can involve quite a few different facets. So Jorja has come along to just talk about this topic, her role and some of the projects that she's currently working on. So I might throw over to Jorja, and perhaps if we can all mute ourselves unless you're talking or asking a question, that might help prevent any echoing. Thank you. Thanks, Jorja.
Thanks, Elizabeth. So I have started at Dementia Australia in March last year, and I'm new to the health space and dementia space. So I'm always very excited to be invited into network meetings and things like that. I feel very privileged to be here. I might throw it back to you all just for a moment. I'd like to know how familiar you are with diversity resources in the dementia space. I know probably many of you have been working in this space for a long time and have a lot of experience. So Is that something you're familiar with? Sophie's shaking her head. Bronwyn, yeah, you've got some, yeah, a little bit. Is that Dementia Australia resources or other types of more general resources? Sorry, putting you on the spot here.
Probably just general, and I work with Sarah at Caledonia. So what the work that Sarah does on it too.
Okay, great. All right, well, I'm just going to start with going over some of our diversity projects at Dementia Australia, and then I'll go through some of our particular diversity resources because I hope that might be helpful to you. So my role is funded to do project support and project management for our diversity projects across Victoria. And we have 3 main projects running at the moment. One is a project targeting rural communities called a Brain Hub project. And these are in Corryong up in Hume, Swan Hill in the Loddon Mallee, and Colac in the Barwon Southwest region. So these projects aim to strengthen dementia knowledge and capacity to support people with dementia. And they were selected by our client services teams. These areas were chosen because we weren't getting many referrals from these areas. And they also had comparable dementia rates or higher to the rest of Victoria. So our project design method was we started consulting the community and local stakeholders on whether they'd like us to target the general community or a particular subset of the community. And we found for Corryong and Swan Hill that they in particular wanted us to target the farming communities because of the additional barriers faced in accessing services, partly due to, I guess, the kind of stoic nature farmers can have and always putting the farm before their own health. So our aim there was to emphasize that your biggest asset on the farm is your own health, and also that you can live well with dementia on the farm, in the community, and in your home if you access support early enough. In Colac, we targeted the general community based on community feedback. So with that in mind, we had a few different project activities. The first element was outreach. So in Corryong and Swan Hill, we wanted to reach the community where they felt comfortable. In Swan Hill, that was a farmers market based on community feedback. So we held a dementia stall. We had 55 people come up and talk to us about our services and about dementia. And we're even able to link some people with services on the day, which was really good. We received great feedback, and yeah, I think it was a really great initiative there. So we'll be looking into doing more things like that in that area. And in Corryong, we attended the Man from Snowy River Festival. I don't know if any of you have been there or have heard of it. Yes, Wendy's, yeah, have you been?
It's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing experience. Yeah, highly recommend it for everyone.
I really do. It blew my mind. So everyone who attends really kind of, I guess, really accentuates their country heritage and identity, and everyone's got the akubras out and whips out and things like that. So it's a real amazing environment. So we were able to speak to 31 people at the festival who approached our stall in a really in-depth way. So they wanted to talk about their specific circumstances, and that was a really great activity. When we had 20 people attend a dementia information presentation at the festival, which I think was a great achievement when we're competing with amazing cattle dog shows and rodeo and things like that. That is just really exciting. So that was good. And in Colac, we have that's a little bit delayed because of the coronavirus context there, but we're planning an informal opportunity to speak for the community, to speak to our staff in a, I guess, a local setting. So hopefully a leisure centre or something like that. The second element we had was community education sessions. So you probably know we run, so Penelope and Sophie also run community education sessions as part of their work. And this was pretty similar, except we tailored these sessions for the community. So we ran this in Corryong. We had, well, first I should say we faced barriers, everyone did, by not being able to do face-to-face delivery, which is can be a big issue for certain communities. So we decided to additionally offer online in the meantime, online sessions. So we had 7 people attending our session in Corryong, which that's actually a pretty good number. And one person even said that they wouldn't have been able to attend a face-to-face session because of geographical barriers. So I guess we're saying that although we're missing some community members, we're capturing others that we wouldn't normally be able to. And in Swan Hill, we only had 1 person attend our online session. So we're really looking forward to rolling out the face-to-face session. Obviously that didn't really work for that community, and we're running our COLAC sessions next week. So the final element was linking in with local health services and finding out how we can support what's already being done in the areas. We had we delivered some staff information sessions. So for Corryong Health, we had a session with the GPs, and we're planning to visit Corryong on a monthly basis moving forward to make ourselves more accessible to the community and more accessible to health professionals as well. And in Swan Hill, the same, we delivered a staff information session, and we're planning on doing those monthly visits. In COLAC, we delivered a session for their health services clients. So that's a family education session, and we delivered that for 20 of their clients, which was really great. So that's our rural projects. We also have 2 more projects going. So we have we have a project targeting culturally and linguistically diverse communities in Bendigo. So this arose out of basically, but Bendigo Community Health Service approached us and said that they have identified that the Karen community, so that's a stateless people originally from Burma or Myanmar, they identified that the community they work with would really benefit from some dementia information and information about our services. So they also have this amazing role called a community guide, where they employ members of the community who have health experience or are undertaking health studies, who work on projects, community health projects. So we were able to work with one of their guides, and we funded their guide to work on the project with us. So we co-designed the activities, which included delivering dementia training for the guides, co-designing and co-facilitating a bilingual community session about dementia. So that's going to be rolled out on end of May, which I think that's really exciting to me, because I guess one thing we've found with working with culturally and linguistically diverse communities and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, that the best received things are the kind of face-to-face information delivery rather than our resources necessarily. So delivering something in a bilingual way is really exciting, I think, for us at least. And as a result of the way, I guess we're already seeing that being received well by the community, BCHS additionally asked us to work with them to develop a video about dementia and dementia services, which will be produced in Karen language and also in Hazaragi language. So that's the Afghan Hazara people. So we also have a training. We're going to deliver training to their Hazara bilingual workers as well. So that'll additionally skill up those workers to be able to work as a link between our services and the community, hopefully in the future. Our final diversity project that we have under this particular funding is a link worker project, and that's an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander project. And the concept is that we've funded one of their staff to act as a link between the community and our services. But additionally, there are a few activities, I guess, to establish that role. So there's a Facebook social media campaign, which will have dementia tips that are tailored for the local community that have been developed in consultation with our staff and also the Aboriginal Regional Development Officers and Rumballara staff as well. And that will also involve a community session. We have a couple more smaller projects. We worked with the Bendigo and District Aboriginal Cooperative to develop a tailored dementia education session for their staff. And as an outcome, we started receiving referrals from them when we previously hadn't. And one of their staff went on to do our professional development training, which was great. And we've also started a Blokes in the Caring Role program. You might have heard of that. That's tailored for male carers and came out of us noticing that men weren't attending our general sessions. So that's been received really well, and we've had great feedback about men finding the online sessions more accessible. So before I go on to our diversity resources, I will share my screen for that to just show you what they look like. Do you have any questions about the projects or comments?
Thanks, Jorja. I had a question about, I guess, how you came up with those touch points of like the farmers market. Was that Colac, I think you said, and then the Man from Snowy River Festival. Was that from just a general community survey or someone in the area? Like, how did you know where to target the, you know?
I'll try to answer this as best as I can, but so these projects are led by our client services teams on the ground. So they already had networks of community members, of professionals, of people that they already knew to talk to. But then we additionally reached out to organisations like the Country Women's Association, the Fire Brigade, any kind of, I guess, community representative that we could. So we didn't put it out to a general community survey. We more identified community leaders or key points of contact that we thought would give us a good indication. So that's how the farmers market came up. And also what happened is the farmers market coordinator was very passionate about spreading the word of dementia and also really wanted us to be there. And she actually organised so this is in Swan Hill, sorry. She actually organised I guess a group of local business owners and the mayor of Swan Hill and all these people who were, I guess, being dementia supporters of the project and were putting the word out about the project. So it was also about just where the community wanted that in general, and really listening to that and going with where their energy was, if that makes sense, where they're really wanting it to happen. Yeah.
No, that's great. I love that idea, farmers market. That's very innovative. Thanks.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Excuse me while I get this technology going. All right, now can you see diversity resources on your screen? Yep, okay, great. Oops, that's not, maybe this isn't the right presentation, sorry. Skip through that. Sorry, excuse me one more moment. Should have this sorted out beforehand. Here we go. All right, so I think I already mentioned, we have found that our most effective way of getting information to cultural and linguistically diverse communities is our face-to-face sessions, but we do additionally have resources available. So just a little bit of background. You probably already know this, but we have 26% of Victorians speaking language other than English at home, and 1 in 6 people with dementia don't speak English at home. There's a comparable prevalence of dementia to the general population, and there's additional barriers or considerations for CULT communities, such as that, for example, the language most recently acquired is lost first. So that could mean that people lose their ability to speak English and speak in their a previous language. So they also might present later to services. So we have a range of resources available, which I'll go through. We have our series called It's Not a Disgrace, It's Dementia. And these are short films featuring carers of people living with dementia, giving personal accounts in their own language of their experience, and they also feature health professionals. They're currently available in 11 different languages. And what I like about these videos is they're all unique. So they actually have the carers who speak that language. So it's not just translated, it's actually a unique video for each language. And they're family friendly. The Our Stories series aims to raise awareness about dementia, but also to reduce stigma through depicting the love each carer has for the person living with dementia. And this is available in 8 languages. So the best way to access our videos, and I guess is to follow this link. I can send these links through at the end of the session, but this will pop up here and you'll be able to click on whichever videos you like. We have a Family and Friends Matter booklet translated into 8 languages. And this booklet reinforces the importance of social connections, family connections for people with dementia, and provides strategies and ideas to help people engage and maintain their relationship with family members or friends that have dementia. It is 32 pages, but the information is presented in a clear and accessible manner, and it covers dementia facts, signs and symptoms, helpful tips, communication and activities, and more. We also have our help sheets, which I'm sure you've seen before, are available in 43 languages, and they cover topics like we have a coronavirus information sheet. We have information about what dementia is, different types of dementia, and then various topics such as communication and how to work with specific behaviours. So the best way to access all of our CULT resources is to visit dementia.org.au/languages, and this will pop up and you'll be able to click on a language and it'll show you a list like this, and then if there are videos available in that language, they'll show you the videos as well. We also have some useful links. So we have a link to the Roland Universal Dementia Assessment Scale for anyone wanting to do culturally appropriate assessments. And we have these reports available. If you're interested in reading a report about dementia in culturally and linguistically diverse communities, I really recommend our report, Perceptions of Dementia in Ethnic Communities, published in 2008. I think it's still very useful. So there's also, a few resources you're probably aware of. These communication cards can be useful, particularly for residential contexts. And there's a Moving Pictures Films project, which is raising awareness about dementia through film and media. This is not a Dementia Australia initiative, I should say. This one is from the Centre of Cultural Diversity and Ageing, and this is through NARI, the National Aging Research Institute. So it's available in 5 languages at the moment, but they're coming out with an additional 12, which was supposed to be released December last year. Our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander resources, we have a few available. This is probably our best received resource. It's called Family, Friends and Communities. I skipped over my little background info. So Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have experienced dementia at a rate 3 to 5 times higher than the general population. And this is even when you consider that, I guess, the average age is lower for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And we know that age is the biggest predictor of dementia. But the reason that the rate's higher is still being explored. We don't know why, but it could be, and I'm not speculating here, this is in our report, saying it could be because of the higher modifiable risk factors or chronic risk factors, including diabetes. So yeah, just highlighting that because it is important to make sure we have accessible resources and services. So this one here, as I said, is our most useful resource, the Friends, Family and Community booklet. And we also have other resources. I really like this checklist for anyone. I'll send through an updated version with our new branding, but it's this checklist. You might have seen this before. It's a bit small words here, but it's just a checklist. You know, I have trouble finding the right word, or have trouble remembering the day and date. You can tick this and bring it to your doctor. We have a range of videos. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to brush over these, but I will send you a list after. We have a range of videos that can be used like with clients or for community members to view. We also have some, Dementia Training Australia has some useful guides for health professionals in terms of cultural assessments, and I just highlight the Indigenous aged care design as well as a useful resource. From what we have available, this report in particular, if you're interested in reading a report, is very useful in understanding the context of working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and dementia. So I'll send that through too. And we also have some LGBTI resources available. These can be found on our website, our videos, our written resources, which on the left we have available for communities, and on the right these information for professionals. And in particular, the We Are Still Gay report is very useful. All right, so I might stop there because I think you're probably aware of our services we have available. We don't offer specific diversity services, but as our services are person-centered, all our staff endeavour to deliver tailored services. So I might stop it there. Wait, have I stopped sharing it? I think I have. But I would just invite you to ask any questions either about the diversity resources, or if you'd like me to just go through our services, I'm happy to, and the referral process, but not sure there's a need.
Did anybody want to hear is anybody unfamiliar with contacting Dementia Australia and referring through? Sounds like we all know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, but I would expect the ops team and the care managers to know, but I assume it's fairly simple.
Yeah, well, it's just the best way to refer to us is to fill out our referral form, and we have a Word document and a online form available to fill out as well. I'll put that in a follow-up email as well.
I was curious about your engagement of the blokes or with the blokes in a caring role, and just how you reached out and actually found them, or did they approach you, or, you know, because yes, it's often hard for some carers to reach out for help, particularly the blokes. So
I wish I could answer. Actually, my manager, who's now become the state manager of Tasmania, he was running that project. I was involved in the rest, but it was his particular passion is engaging with male carers. So I'm actually not sure how he did that, but I know a lot of them were in collaboration with the men's sheds. So I suspect it was through accessing maybe only the men's sheds. I don't know if they accessed other community organizations and things like that. But yeah, I guess our approach is usually to just go to the community and find out and link in with where people already go, if that makes sense.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I have spoken at some men's sheds and have been particularly moved by how caring they are about their wives. Like, what if something happened to me? Therefore, I want to know more. So, yeah, which is lovely and proactive.
And I can just add to that too, Sophie. So we get a lot of the blokes through our client services team, and also through things like people attending the Memory Lane Cafe.
Great. Thank you, Georgia. Does anyone else have any questions, general questions for Georgia, or anything relating to diversity, dementia, particularly? No? Thank you. Well, thanks again, Georgia. I really appreciate all of those resources, and I guess just refreshing and recapping some of the information that we can find on the website that even I know personally I have accessed in the past, but it's not always front of mind, you know, when inquiries are coming through and someone might be needing a particular type of information. I had a question that I hope isn't an obvious one to answer, but just wondering if a need arises that's around diversity. So whether it's a particular group of people or a service like VMCH where I work for is getting a whole lot of inquiries around the same type of issue. So whether it's, you know, people from a particular cultural background or something where a trend has developed, would you be the person who we would likely approach in trying to highlight the need for a project or, you know, some targeted attention in terms of developing more of that sense of community and or education or whatever it is around dementia that this hypothetical group might be needing?
I'm not the person in the sense that those decisions are made much higher up the chain, but I definitely am happy to receive them, and I will pass it as high up as I can to make sure that that gets heard and that feedback gets passed on. So you're welcome to pass that on to me. But if you do have any contacts that, we actually don't have a dedicated diversity role that I know of that's a kind of coordination role. So yeah, I'm happy to pass those kind of things on to our management.
Okay, great. Thank you. Excellent. So no other questions from anybody? Beautiful. Well, thanks so much, Georgia. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, everyone.
Welcome to stick around or not, up to you. We generally just have a broader chat around, you know, pressing issues people might be facing or questions. Sometimes people might bounce around ideas of an inquiry or a particular client or member need. So maybe we just open it up. Sarah, did you have anything particular to talk about today?
No, just a reminder that we're still taking expressions of interest for 2 new carer support groups, one for members of the LGBTI community and one for carers of people with younger onset dementia. I've had a couple of 2 inquiries for the younger onset one, but the groups won't start until we've got a core group of 3 or 4 who want to meet, and then we'll find out where and how they'd like to meet. So if anyone gets inquiries for carer groups of those specific cohorts of people, just let me know.
Sarah, can I ask, sorry, what is that for a specific region, or can it be all over Victoria?
It's going to start on Zoom, so it could be all over Victoria, and depending on the need, really depending on the need.
Great, I might have someone for you.
Yeah, terrific.
And I don't know, Deb, are you still here? Let me flick through. Yes. Sarah and I were just talking before everybody joined today about younger onset dementia is a topic that has come up a lot in this group, because I know a lot of referrals and inquiries have come to a whole range of us in, you know, as being different service providers and offering different types of services around people who have a new diagnosis of younger onset dementia, or they just don't know how and what is available. So where to start, I guess. And Deb, I was wondering, because you are in an access and support role, whether you're having more and more people inquire regarding younger onset dementia as well, or if you've heard of what the needs might be, you might be a good person to ask.
Sadly to say, no referrals for younger onset dementia clients. So which is a big issue for Michelle, Scott and I, as we have hacked funding, which we actually can't meet our targets. But yes, it's difficult. I've actually kind of getting referrals for, you know, the 70-year-olds at the present time. And, you know, where do they fit in this system? The planned activity groups, you know, they're still in that 80 plus, aged and frail. And now is the 70-year-old that's fit and healthy with cognitive decline. So that's tricky.
I will just, sorry, Deb, I will just say that some of the social support groups are geared to those younger, fitter, pardon me, people with the cognitive decline. I think the day centres are realising they can't just run bingo and you know, chair exercises. I know we certainly have groups for younger, fitter. There was before COVID, and they're starting up again. But lunch groups, shopping groups, people who are interested in accessing the community in any way, and hopefully the other social support groups are doing that as well.
Not particularly.
Maybe they okay.
You know, I mean, yes, everyone's too scared to kind of, well, it's, I suppose they can't afford to start up new groups with kind of an age group or a capacity group. It's like, you know, people are just being put into, you know, the one bucket. Yeah, so it gets tricky, especially when someone looks at themselves and they see themselves as still, you know, 50 and everyone else is old.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's related to COVID, but some of the inquiries that we've had lately are not just younger onset dementia, but around people who have just become really reclusive. So the person with the diagnosis of dementia is really reluctant to want to become involved in any social groups, or I guess through our carer support program, we've had a few spousal you know, connections, the family carer contact us and say, you know, they just want to sit on the couch and watch TV, and I'm not sure what's out there or how we can re-engage this person in, you know, what used to excite them or what excites them now and what's available. And it's difficult, I guess, because a lot of programs wound right down with COVID, and some of them are still taking their time, I think, to wind back up to full capacity. It's difficult to know where to start. So a lot of organisations, I think, have reshaped how they're offering services.
That's right. For some of those more difficult clients that have sat and watched TV for the last 12 months, I've successfully got the in-home flexible respite started up. So that one-on-one, and then from there actually then tried to introduce the groups. So just working with a couple of ladies now, and one's been quite successful. The other one was still no go. But at least the family's got the flexible respite happening. So something's better than nothing.
And Deb, can I ask you a direct question on that? Whether in your role you're still able to, what word am I looking for? Chaperone?
Yes.
You know, physically sort of go with the person to try out some of these services. Are you still allowed that flexibility in your role?
Yes.
Yes, great. Okay.
Yeah, so we can. So it also depends on whether the group. Yeah, so I've only been to a couple of places, and I've been able to stay with the person for a couple of hours or whatever, because again it increases their number by having us in the group. So it's the organisation's managing that as well. But yep, still can do it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Which is good. Yeah. And I'll just say that our Carrington Cafe for the younger onset dementia clients is we are face-to-face. So we are obviously looking for referrals. So we've got a core group that's almost been together for 4 years now. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. And does anyone here from Dementia Australia know, are the Memory Lane cafes all back face-to-face as well?
The Memory Lane cafes are going live next month in June, we've just heard. So we're planning for that. So that's none of them are YOD specific, but as I understand, YOD can go. Okay, so Bulleen, Frankston, Willis Hill, Albion. So it's good news that they're back. And Deborah, can I ask you about the YOD that you were just talking about? Deborah? If she can hear me. Deb?
I think she's there. No, she's there.
Don't know if she's there.
I think you're muted, Deb. You might be talking, but you're on mute.
Yeah. Can't hear.
Fun of Zoom.
Yeah. Can't hear you, Deb.
Maybe while we're waiting for Deb, does anyone else have an update or anything, any new developments at your organisation that might be relevant to someone else here regarding dementia services? No?
Just a little bit of exciting news. We had the film crew from SBS out the other weekend to film our singing group as a part of Australia's biggest sing-along that will be a 2-hour special in June with, Astrid, the girl who does the couch choir and the pub choir singing. So that's pretty exciting.
Very much so. You'll have to let us know when it's on air, Sarah.
Yeah, I will. It's the 5th of June. It'll be a 2-hour special.
Terrific.
Great. Deb, are you there yet?
Yeah.
No, maybe not. Well, I think that's it from our end. If anybody has anything else they would like to add, please feel free.
Oh, I will just ask, did anybody have time to click on the new website link and just have a look? No. Okay, I'll send that out again. And if people just want to have a look around, all our videos are loaded up there of the past sessions if you want to rewatch something, and just some information about what the network does and what we aim to do.
And thank you, Sarah. You can take full credit for that. It looks amazing. You're much more tech savvy than I am. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry about that. The phone went. And I had to answer it because I knew who it was and it was urgent. Sorry. You had a question?
Deb, yes, it's Penelope. Hi, just wanting to know about that group. What you were talking about then?
Our Carrington Cafe. So Carrington Health has the younger onset dementia. Yeah, so we're face to face.
Is it only for people in a particular region?
No. So we've got someone coming from Berwick.
Oh, great.
Yep. So it depends on how far someone's prepared to travel. Yeah, so no, it's not.
Is there a website?
If you go to the Carrington Health website, and then look for Carrington Cafe. Yeah, so there's an occupational therapist that facilitates it. I always attend just in case there's questions or, someone needs some support.
Terrific, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Great, thank you. So nothing else? No one else wants to add anything today? No? Sarah, did you say you've organised someone for next month, or do you want to lock it in before we announce the next presenter?
No, it's all locked in, sorry. It's representatives of a company called Motortech, and they produce an amazing exercise and reminiscence experience for people in aged care facilities. They contacted me through the Reimagining Dementia network, and
is that what you were going to?
would like to let us know what they're up to.
Sounds good. Something different.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thanks so much, Jorja, for your time and presentation today. And hopefully we will see most, if not all of you next month. Now our meetings are monthly, not fortnightly, just a reminder. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.